Okay. Hello, this is Ursula, and we're going to do some yoga with a special focus on back care today. So, welcome, everyone. And I hope this is the right way to do it. I can always make another one. Anyway, thanks for being here. And let's just start making sure we're comfortably seated, be elevated on a blanket, and we're just going to take a moment to feel our bodies. Think of something that you feel grateful for. Grateful for our health. Grateful that we're able to be here and do this together. So we'll start with just a few breaths, just to find the breath and connect it to our movements. So inhaling through the nose for about 8 counts. And then exhaling all the air out through the mouth. We'll do 2 more breaths like that. Just nice deep belly breath. And then exhaling to the top of the lungs. And one more time, inhaling. And exhale out. We're just going to start with some gentle movement from the top of the head, so the ear toward the shoulder, and the other ear toward the shoulder. Just seeing how the neck is feeling today. And then back to center, chin toward the shoulder, and chin toward the shoulder. Just noticing how your neck is connected to your scapula. And we'll bring it back to center. Now we'll do some shoulder shrugs. So just letting the shoulders raise up and lower down. Just isolating. And a couple more. Seeing if they feel even. And then we'll do a rib cage isolation. So just moving the rib cage from one side and around to the other, front and back, and changing the direction of your circles, and a few more. Come back to center, bringing the feet together. It can be helpful to have blocks under your legs. And waking up those inner thighs, the single butterflies. And you're ready, rising up and leaning over, just gently, not forcing, just seeing how that feels. Bring the left leg out, right leg in, rising up, and reaching down your leg for your foot. I feel like we should have our music on. Relax into the stretch. And let's bring it back in. Other leg out, other foot in, rising up, and leaning. And if you have your strap handy, you can wrap it around both your feet. Hello, we're just making your video now. So, sorry, yeah. So hopefully the visibility is okay. Otherwise, I'll do another one. So wrapping the strap around the feet, rising up, and just leaning that belly toward the feet. And a few more breaths here, releasing the back of the legs. And then we'll rise back up, and just sitting comfortably, we're gonna find that scapula. So, arms extending out, reaching, and then just turning the belly and letting the elbow come back with you. So you're retracting that scapula and then forward. Inhale in the center and rotate to the other side. Just noticing if one side is looser, more stiff. Reach with the elbow. We'll do 2 more. And other side. Releasing it, we'll do the spinal rotation. So, left foot back out, right foot back over. This might be where you want to stay, or you can tuck that foot under. And rising up, rotating toward that hip, and finding where you want to stay for a few breaths. Working on that rotation. And we'll release, come back to center, change sides, comes up and over, and tucking the other one if you would like. And if that doesn't work for you, find a seat there. You want to rotate toward the hip that's up, and all the way through the spine. And we'll release and unwind and come to all fours. So cat-cows are really great for the spine. So finding your hands under your shoulders, and you can always be on your forearms if that's more comfortable. And the main thing is to tuck the tail all the way to the top of the head, breathing in here, and then releasing and let the belly relax. Inhaling here. And finding your cat-cow motion. Moving with your breath. And then we'll come to a neutral spine. So we're neither in cat nor cow. Belly's gently supporting your body, and then pulling those scapula toward each other. It's just a gentle, small movement, but pulling the scapula together. And so, maybe 2 more. And then back to that neutral spine. And this time we're going to push the mat away a little bit. So just we're pushing the scapula the other way. And then we'll release back and enjoy a child's pose. And then when we're ready, walk the hands over to one side for a nice long stretch on the side of your body. And then bringing those hands back over to the other side. And then back to center. Relaxing for a moment in your child's pose. And gently coming back up to all fours. Just gonna extend the right leg out, or left, either one you can choose. And just pressing back. And it might be easier to just be on a knee, but find the place you want to stay for a few breaths and let yourself relax into it. And then let's release and change sides, finding that evenness in the center, bringing that other foot back and relaxing into the stretch. And then releasing it back to all fours, and we're going to thread that needle and press back. And then when you're ready, release and switch sides. And let's release and come back to our child's pose. Now, child's pose is a good place to stay if dog down is tricky. But we're gonna rise up to dog down. And you can walk the dog, heels toward the mat. And you can stay in your dog down, or you can add a lift of the right leg, just feeling the extension in the hip. And if that's working for you, you can draw little circles with that toe. And then change the direction of your movement. And then opening the hip toward the ceiling. And then exhale. Let's release that and come into pigeon. So the knee can be in the midline of the body, or if that doesn't feel nice on your knee, you can put the knee out to the side and feel that extension in the back hip. And you could use your block for support to lean over your leg if it feels right to you. And we can stay here for a few more breaths, letting that hip release and the opposite hip extend. And then we'll come back, bringing that knee back. You can go into child's pose or dog down. Letting the head relax. And a gentle spine extension. And then, if it feels good for you, lifting that left leg and drawing those little circles. Really pressing away the mat, changing the directions of your circle. And open that knee toward the ceiling. Breathe. And bringing that left knee forward. It's comfortable for you. Or I can be out to the side if that's more comfortable. And leaning forward when you find where you want to be. Few more breaths, back leg extended. Release, pressing up. Now here, if you can be on your knees or your toes, and we're just gonna do a little plank. So knees are fine, just getting the sensation of holding that belly in, becoming aware of the pelvic floor. It holds us strong. And just another couple breaths. We can release back into our child's pose. And let's come back forward, and we're going to drop the hips, come down to a prone position, so just laying on your mat, and we're going to work on a little extension here. So hands by the shoulders is a good place to start, remembering that feeling of the plank, so our belly is holding us strong, and then just gently rise up, and maybe just your throat. And if it feels good, you could press all the way up into cobra. Releasing it down with your breath. We'll do a few more of those. That extension, that sensation of extension, the hips, the pulling in of the belly. And it might just be just lifting up a little bit, or with the support of your glutes to help support your back, coming up to cobra. Release down. And let's do two more, nice and gentle, just noticing if it gets easier when you do it. Release down, and one more time. Rising up to where it feels comfortable for you. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good? Release down. Seems so weird without the music.
We're each doing our own thing. It's kind of whatever works.
Just move.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It all helps, and it keeps us moving, right? So you might want to use your strap for the next one, and if there's ever any knee pain or back pain, you don't want to go there. You never want to press through pain. So we'll just bring the left leg up, getting that nice quad stretch. Allowing it to release. And then lowering that leg and switching sides. Bringing the right leg up and holding that foot. And it can help to use a strap for this one to reach your foot sometimes. And And we can do that again. So starting with one leg. Or if you want to come up into bow, you can just grab both feet if that's comfortable. And if you're happy and you love it, maybe rise up. Pressing those feet into the hands. When you're ready, we can release back down and then come either into down dog or child's pose. So, down dog, pressing up, pressing through the thumb, inside of the hand, lengthening through the back of the legs, letting the head hang freely. When you're ready, we can drop the knees and all meet in child's pose. Let's come on up. We're going to lay on our back. But we're going to start here if you want to try this with me, which is right here. Just starting to bring awareness to our lower spine here. Sitting up nice and tall. And exhaling. And just curling in that belly. You don't have to go far. Rising up. And exhaling back. Rising up to tall sitting. And back. And one more time. And this time, if you want to try coming down one vertebrae at a time, you can do that. Nice and slow. And release, and here we are. So it's good to have your strap handy here, but we're just going to bring the knees in, pull the belly in, and windshield wiper the legs. Side to side. And bringing it back in. And thinking about the lower spine, we'll do a little spinal imprint. So just pulling that belly in, once again, a small movement, pulling the belly in so it presses into the mat, and then release. Pulling the belly in, and release. And 2 more times. Release. And last time. And release. And let's do the same thing for the upper spine, the head. And just tuck the chin to the chest. And release. Tuck the chin to the chest. And release. And one more time. And release, and then just letting the head go side to side. And then coming back to center, lengthening our legs, and bringing that right knee in, where it's comfortable for you. Giving it a little compression. You can circle the foot, releasing the ankle. And circling it the other way. And release it back down. And then let's bring the other knee in, giving it that little compression, and then circling the ankle and circling it the other way. And then releasing, nice and long again. Let's cross the right leg over the neck, or the left. Bend the knee in. And you can hug the back of the leg or the calf. Letting that hip get a nice stretch. Let the knee come across and just let it fall to one side and look away. Just find where it feels good and settle into it. And then let's bring that back to center, release the crossing of the legs and cross the other way. And if it feels good to you, bringing it in and holding. This is a nice place to rock, get a little stimulation for the kidneys. Nice lengthening of the spine. And let's go ahead and let it drop to the side, opening the arms and looking away from the hips. Let's release back to center and finding ourselves long on the mat before we bring our knees in. And if both knees don't want to come in, then you can just alternate. Or you can come up, make yourself into a little ball, and rock on that spine a bit, as long as it feels good. And then release it down, just opening those legs to the frog legs, finding that peaceful place to stay for a few breaths. Bring it back in, and remembering that feeling, pulling the belly button in, we're just gonna lift up. So lifting up, hip lift. And one vertebrae at a time, lowering down. If you have your block handy, you can place it between your knees. And you can stick with the lifting and the lowering, or coming up. One vertebrae at a time, starting from your tailbone. And if you have the block and you want to stay here with the elevated position, you can press into the block with your knees, engaging the inner thighs. And maybe a few more times. And then lowering down one vertebrae at a time. We'll do one more round of that, your choice. Just articulating through the base of the spine and up to the mid-back. Adding those squeezes. Maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lowering down gently. We're going to move to the shoulders for a moment. So you can lie with your legs extended or knees bent, but everything will stay nice and steady, except the arms will come up, reaching and circling around. Just feeling an extension, like something's pulling on your finger. And everything else stays steady. And then the other way, circling around. Couple more. Finding that breath. And back to where we were. So we're going to do, there's going to be variations on the next one. So basically we're just going to start with engaging our lower abdominals and lifting up, lifting the hips. And so you can stay here, but I'm going to show this one because it's really nice on the back if it's a comfortable position for you. So putting the hands behind your back can help you to lift up, and then just rising up to a shoulder stand. So we want to make sure we're not on our neck here. Let ourselves be inverted for a few breaths. And then letting those legs fall, gently just letting gravity help extend them. Lowering the arms to help you gently place your hips back on the mat. Coming long, finding that breath. You can go on to one side for that rotation opener, so the shoulder out. Everyone is doing that wrong. We're just gonna open. Breathe in here, and starting with pulling the belly in to rotate mindfully back. Again, open. And close. And one more. Nice and even movements. Where we were. If you'd like a blanket under your head, we're just going to do some leg opening here. So knees are bent and just open, legs up and close. Finding your breath and moving at even pace. And 3, and 2, and 1. and come long. And we're gonna do one more thing for you on this side. We're just gonna point the toe, lift the leg, top leg, and flex it, lower it down. Point, lift, flex, down. 3, 2, you can hug that leg in. You drop it in front of you. Just let that hip have a little stretch. And then we'll release and turn over to the other side. So starting with those arms extended, do that rotation. So lift, open, moving with your breath. Maybe 2 more. And release and change. So now we're moving to the hips. So it's open and close the knees. Open and close. And 2 and 1. Release, legs come long, point that toe, and flex that foot. Point, and flex it forward. 3, 2, and 1. And then let that knee come forward to release that hip. And then if you have your strap handy, we're gonna come onto our back and lower ourselves down, wrapping the strap around the right foot. The ball of the right foot is pointing and flexing. Letting that leg fall open. Open, relaxing it into the place that it's comfortable for you. Let's bring that leg up and take it over to the other side. Bringing it back up. Extending through that heel back to the center. And then let's lower that foot and change sides. So wrapping it around the other foot, follow the foot. Do that little point and flex. And then opening that leg to the side. And then raising up and switching sides. Finding where it's comfortable to stay. And then back to center, flexing that foot and slowly lowering the leg. And we can release it, and we'll move to some balance work against the wall, and then I think we'll end with our mats against the wall. So first we're going to do some balance, and I think I'm going to turn this off and turn on some music. We didn't do our sun salutations. So for you, we'll talk after class.